Hello and welcome to Safari Catch Up. This is a daily wrap of the best wildlife sightings over the last 24 hours.
But nice to have a grey duiker in the distance, busy browsing on some of the nice leaves around here, nice green shoots that's coming through. And these are one of our smallest antelopes that we do have around here. A little bit larger than the steenbok. Part of the dwarf antelopes. Oh, there we go, eating all those nice little green shoots coming through. So those will live pretty much a solitary life. So most of your dwarf antelopes will have a solitary life, so moving around by themselves. But when it comes to partnership, then they'll have a mate and monogamous, meaning that they will be partners for life. And there's been cases where people's actually recorded these antelopes, duikers actually feeding on baby chicks, like little birds. I've never seen it before, but I've seen footage of it.
Hyenas now headed up to here now with these vultures getting too close, chasing them around, pushing them away. You can see there's the hooded and the white-backed vultures trying to sneak themselves in there for a little bit of a morsel. So obviously we know that there's a hierarchy with hyenas where it is there's a matriarch that basically runs the clan, so the female, and when it comes to feeding, the females with cubs or cubs first will start feeding, and then only then will adult males be allowed to eat. So basically adult males eat last, if they eat at all, and they will be chased away. Shame these vultures. They have to wait. You know, they have to wait for the mammals to move off, and once the mammals can move off, then they can fight amongst each other.
Tracks of a nice big male white rhino. Lovely big back of the foot. There's a big toe there, big front toe there, and then the side toe. If I measure this one, there and there, that's pretty much the same size. So with a black rhino, the side toes are enough that you could put two into the front toe. There's a difference in the size, of course, and the back is slightly different. But white rhino, their toes, although they don't look it from this angle, toes are very, very big. And the three toes in the rhino species. And this animal walked here in the last couple of hours because it's been quite still. So this happened sometime early this morning, maybe late last night. I don't know when the wind stopped. He's going in that direction.
Yo. Big male leopard tortoise pan. Can you believe it? I haven't seen this guy for such a long time. Hey. My word, everybody. This is brilliant. There he comes, getting a nice, beautiful walk by this stunner of a male. And he's got such a big territory, and he covers an immense distance. Yeah, that is now absolutely amazing, beautiful, just so robust. And it's like, I don't know, it's like big neck, shoulders. Oh, what a beaut, what a beaut.
And we got one of the toppy boys there cruising through the red oat grass. Now, I haven't seen these boys for the last couple of days, and I feel I'm full of joy having seen them. Look at everything for me here is golden. The grass and the male lion, the toppy boy. Everything here is golden, from his mane, the grass, his walk. Kingo and Otipo. These are the two boys they have now of the 7. Not sure where the other 5 are. Excuse my head. See how close they are to the car. Look at the bellies of those 2 males. Kingo just passed. I don't know how many pounds of flesh he has in his tummy.
We found some little lions. Check at these lions. Oh my goodness. I think this is again part of the Sand River Pride. I've counted at least 8 little cubbies. They look like they're varying in age, so it could be 2 litters. One litter looks like at least maybe, I would guess, 4 to 5 months, and then the others look like they could be 2 to 3 months old. So have a look on the termite mound there. There's a lioness with one smaller cub on her left, and then there's some bigger cubs on the right. And if you look at this dead tree on the right hand side, just now there was 5 of them all climbing and playing up on this tree. Got these tiny little babies that have come down to the river, so I suspect there's 2 litters here. One litter looks a bit smaller. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 that look a little bit smaller, maybe 2 to 3 months if I had to guess, and then there's another litter that could be 3 to 4 months. They're a little bit tiny, a little bit bigger. They came down to the water, had a bit of a drink, and now they look like they're making their way back to their little lion hangout spot. So they were lying on the top of a mound.
Then we'll have that one particular Ellie with 1 tusk. It's missing one. That happens a lot. Looks like a female to me who could be very pregnant. Yes, she is. You can see how mammary glands are quite swollen. And cows usually have such a big investment with your calves carrying a baby for almost 2 years. It's such an investment to carry a baby for almost 2 years. That's why most of elephant calves will always survive. They're very bonded from the word go once the female conceives. And I would say I would give elephants 98% success.
Well, we've also come across a little bit of some destruction here, where I'm standing on what appears to be a jackalberry that has fallen over. Now, it could have fallen over or could have been pushed over, but what's really cool is the fact that just because it's been fallen over, a couple of roots have been exposed, doesn't mean that it has stopped growing. As you can see, there are still leaves, there are nice little shoots, and branches that are starting to grow from the broken branches, and those are going to grow up towards the sky, of course, as they should. So this tree still lives on, even though it looks like it's man down. Obviously there are some branches, some places where it's just not, there is no longer life in them, like a couple of the branches further to my right, but majority of it is actually still growing, which is actually miraculous.
I think what you got here is a black-chested snake eagle. One of the most eagles we got here in East Africa. They've been claimed to see, snakes from a long, long way, sometimes 3 kilometers, it has been said, because she may leave where she is, fly straight for a kilometer or two, and where she is going to land, she will pick a snake. I think they got wonderful, wonderful sights, because they need that to spot their prey. I would wonder between snake eagles and vultures who has a better sight. I guess the only difference is vultures will need to be in motion, in flight, to spot any carcass. The snake eagles are always very patient, just like the herons, stay in one position. You'd imagine trying to see a snake move in the grass, how difficult that is.
Well, we're still here in the nice open sunny plains of the Leeuwenbosch Flats areas, and we just turned our attention to a herd of red hartebeest, and we had for a moment a brand new little baby. There was another one that was, there we go, on the left. The cow's walking. It's very tricky on its little feet, smelling the earth. Oh, my goodness. And there it goes down. It just disappears in the vegetation. We spent a lot of time with these animals last year in October as well, and brought up the discussion about the coloration of some of the babies that you find with antelopes. The antelopes generally with the horns, the male and females both with horns, without that sexual dimorphism. You tend to find the youngsters are very different in color to the adults. And if we just look around this landscape and we see the small termite mounds, the small little mounds of earth, the animal blends directly in with that. They really, really do disappear, and it's very hard to see them. When you're an open plains species where you're relying on vast open areas, cover disappears. And so it makes sense that the youngsters that were born much paler in color or much more easily concealed with regards to the soil and the termite mounds and little mounds of soil in the area would have been more successful. So that trait would have perpetuated.
All right, well, we just repositioned here for El Langa and trying to see her belly, but it did look like her belly is big. I don't think for food. The guy said yesterday as well that she looks pregnant, and that's just before she actually caught this kudu. And there was not much fed on the kudu anyway, so I think very shortly she might pop and have some cubbies. So the gestation period for a leopard is about 100 days, plus minus 100 days. And what she'll do is she'll try and look for a nice little spot somewhere. She knows a little area, and she'll go and take a look what's going to be the safest spot for her to have her cubs. Usually in the drainage lines, if there's a rocky little area, maybe between some rocks or under a very thick, like I can say, fallen over bushes and a tree, she'll make sure that they're kind of kept hidden away, out of sight of all other animals. And at least she's found a nice little spot for herself. I think she's still just watching back at old Tortoise Pan while he's still busy feeding on her prize.
We are now looking closely to this particular lion, and we can tell almost 100% what sometimes I'm teaching Marcel local language and telling him bila shaka means guarantee that this is a male. And look at how they divide this buffalo. So all the internal organs are gone. So my guess is this could be last night. It can be more than last night. Looking at the freshness of the carcass. All right, where do you want to start? Or where do you want to go? Don't come to the car, please, because sometimes they are naughty. They won't come to the shade of the car. We try to discourage that as much as possible, but of course you can tell it's just too hot for him, having eaten. And I mean, Marcel, he came to us. What do you think, Marcel? It is a couple of meters away from where I am. Hello, young man. Do I look familiar? Practically nothing wrong with that as far as I'm concerned. For me, it shows a lot of trust from these animals to us. So just look at where the carcass is, look at where the lion is, and look at where I am.
You've got a male leopard here, old Tortoise Pan. So what he's done this morning, Tortoise Pan, he came up all the way to this area. There was another female leopard that was on a kudu kill, exactly where he is now. She was busy feeding on her prize. And of course he picked up on the scent and he came storming in here, and then he chased her off, or Lunga. The female's name is Lunga. And then he kind of stole a kill, and now he's still sitting here. And what's the interesting part about it was that the kill was on the ground this morning, and looks like during the day he must have hoisted it up into a dodgy tree just at the back end. Can't really see the kill from where we are now. It's very difficult. So he's hoisted the kill up into a tree, and now he's just resting in the drainage line. So. Yeah, the Tortoise Pan, he is pretty much one of our most dominant males in this area, in the northern Sabi Sand. There's two big boys. It's actually three. Mazemba is another one. And Mulwati, it's his biggest challenge. Now, where we are now, exactly where we are now, is pretty much an overlap between the two male leopards, Mulwati and this male Tortoise Pan. So, the possibility and the chances of Mulwati actually coming in here, if he's in the area, if he picks up on the scent, is very good. It's very good, so you always have to let things play out here. You never know what's going to change.
Well, the sky currents have started to move, and we've gotten off the car to talk about a stick with some white appendages on it. Now, if you notice from the top, these thorns are quite small. You go down, and in general they're quite small, and then suddenly you get a few that are really, really large. Really large and quite bulbous, actually. And if you look closely over there, you can see a hole. Now, what has happened? Now, I haven't been able to identify the wasp species that does this, but there's a wasp species out here that will come and lay, well, they lay the eggs and then the larva does this, or the wasp themselves inject a sort of steroidal component into the thorn, which takes the thorn from something like this into this really large swollen appendage or thorn, and inside then the wasp egg or larvae goes through the whole pupation stage, the whole process of being a wasp until it becomes an adult. And then holes like this are where they've emerged out. But there's some ant species that will actually live inside these cavities once the wasps have done their thing. So this branch is obviously just broken off and fallen to the ground, but sometimes they'll be on the tree still with the hole, and an ant coming in and out and living their whole life inside of a tree that was damaged per se by a wasp.
Hello, madam. Good evening. How do you do? Yeah, guys, she just wants to walk in front of the vehicle. And the baby still, the baby wants to take the long way around. Thought, nah, not brave enough to follow mum. Mum's going that way around. Nah, I'll take the long way around. That's fine by me. This picked up speed.
We just thought we'd calm it down a little with some feeding zebras here in the open. So the zebra species all have different shapes. The Burchell zebra here, or the plains zebra, has got the three different colors there. We've got the white, the black, and then the brown, which is known as shadow stripes. You notice that the stripes go all the way around onto the belly. And also, if you look at the stripes coming from the rump, they come and extend down onto the stomach and even go quite far forward. The mountain zebra, they don't have the shadow stripes. They've just got the black and white stripe. It doesn't extend onto the belly, and that the brown stripes coming from the rump don't extend past the hip.
The wildebeest are just off to our left. If we're lucky, we might be able to witness our first hunt here. Wouldn't this be amazing? They might have the perfect vantage point here because the wildebeest are just kind of on the edge of the ridge there. So they've got, the wildebeest are just slightly in a bit of a depressed area. This lioness is going for it. So this is the whiter, lighter colored female that she managed to sneak around the back of the herd, and she startled them, but when they ran, they literally ran into a wall of lionesses, and this one was waiting to take one down. Oh my goodness, that was amazing. What incredible hunting strategy these lions have just used. I wasn't quite sure what their plan was. They seemed to make a bit of a wall and started walking towards them, but we couldn't see one of the lionesses snuck around them, and she startled them on purpose, which was interesting because it was the white female, so I think she knew that they would see her. And when she startled them, she chased them right into the other lionesses. Wow.
That cub is going to try and bother one cub that is nursing there. Now, I'm not sure whether that's one cub or two cubs nursing there. I think it's one. Marcel, how many can you see that are suckling? One or two? Looks like two. I mean, two, eh? All right. Hyenas will get anything, 1 to 3 cubs. More often than not, they get 2 cubs. And this one seemed to be a boy, as you're trying to see. And he's trying to show his manhood, as much as that could also be very confusing. The females also will have pseudo penis. Sometimes very difficult to tell, especially at this age, males from females. Now, those 2 cubs that are nursing there, I was saying hyenas will get anything 1 to 2, or 1 to 3 rather. The times they get twins, and when they get twins, somehow hyenas, we all know, got siblicide, and they tend to compete on who nurses more than the other. The mothers sometimes are not interested, like, to balance them, and the weaker kid or the weaker cub will always die, and the stronger cub will always survive.
We are still here with the two Nzenga male lions, and as you can see, the one is busy feeding at the back end, the other one is just waiting for his turn. A lot of growling here at the moment. It's like looks like it's the last bit of the kudu. I thought it was going to be a lot more here, but it looks like they've devoured practically most of it. So yeah, this guy's it's a little bit there, but yeah, he's not letting his brother close to that kill at all. Well, that's typical of lions. Many times if there's like not much meat left on a kill, you'll find right at the end, the lions will tend to, how can I say, go for one another to try and get their share. But for now, it's just this male that's claiming it, and his brother's just waiting very patiently here. Always nice to see these two big boys.
You're back with us here. The setting of the sun and the milkwood tree. Wonderful opportunity to just drop in and take a nice deep breath into your belly. Exhale through your nose. Feel the body softening. Sensations on the skin becoming alive. The mind quietening, becoming present. The space of presence is a space of no thought. No identification with any sound or shape. Just deep presence.
Why are you calling? You've got a lion here calling somebody. So I think this is who we heard this morning. Hey, there's some Amakhala there that are not happy. I'm surprised they didn't start alarm calling when they heard her calling. It is a female, yes. Big belly. So that's from that wildearth. She's obviously, I wonder if she's maybe had something to eat. Could mean two things. Either she's had something to eat, or there could be some babas in there, maybe. I know these males have been mating with these females.
That's it for this episode of Safari Catch Up. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you on Safari.